Question?
Sadhguru, the first question is from S. Upadhyay. Namaskaram, Sadhguru. While speaking about Dhyanlinga, you had mentioned that you can access it from anywhere. From the past few months, I have a very intense longing to experience your life presence 24/7, wherever in the world I may be. Could you please give me a method to make this possible?
What is your understanding of live? You want me on the web all the time? Because today live does not mean I'm alive. Live means I'm online. So, let's understand this. What you think you are right now is, this is me. Well, we have done enough of this talk with you, enough processes with you, that what you consider as your body is an accumulation. So it's yours, cannot be you. Other thing is, what all mess that's happening in your head, you think it's me, the content of the mind. Well, that is also an accumulation, that is also yours, because nobody else wants to have it. So, it's yours, but it's not you. So what you consider or what you do not know as myself, but you know you exist, but you do not know what is the nature of your existence. So the whole idea of spiritual process and the tools that are established to manifest this or bring this experience into people's lives, all the tools, whether it is Dhyanlinga or Yogeshwara or myself, this is a tool, this is not a person. The tool is that something beyond physical is happening around them all the time. Physicality, the basis of physicality is a defined boundary. Without a defined boundary, there is no physical nature. So once something beyond physicality is happening, there is no such thing as boundary, there is no such thing as here and there. Physical can only be either here or there. That which is not physical is neither here nor there, or it is both here and there. Well, this may sound little out of reach for you, but normally, for most human beings, I would say over 90% of the human beings, they can pay attention to something, absolutely, only if they're emotionally involved with it. Very few human beings have a mind which can give them absolute involvement without any emotional involvement. That takes a lot of work. To have a mind that you can stay focused on something absolutely without emotionally being involved with it. But I would say for 90% of the people, they need emotional support to pay attention to something absolutely. This is the reason only those people who you think are in the ambit of your love, you pay attention to them. Those who are not, you ignore, you cannot pay attention to them. So because of this, spiritual process always mixes up a very simple aspect. To bring focus, we talk about devotion, emotion, all this stuff. Is it really needed? No. If you could simply, absolutely be, you don't need any emotion, you don't need any devotion. Just sitting here, dry as a stick, you can still reverberate with the energies of this universe. But that is a very small number of people. Others need some kind of… something has to tug them in their heart, otherwise they will not look in that direction. They will look for a few seconds and they'll be here, there, everywhere. Only where they're emotionally involved, they're able to keep a steady focus towards that. Whatever emotionally matters to you becomes the focus of your mind. So it's a wonderful tool that way. So because of that, we brought emotion into the system. Once we brought emotion, you know emotion, it's like that. Because it's like that, channelizing that is a huge challenge and unnecessarily it looks complicated because each person starts interpreting it in their own way because each person's emotion is unique in its own way. So do not get trapped in all those things. Do not worry about what somebody else is doing, how it happens to somebody else. This is why in Isha we've always stopped people from sharing their spiritual experiences because others will get confused. If you say, I was lying down, I was just lying down somewhere in some other part of the world, wherever you are, Mr. what? Acharya? Upadhyaya.
Upadhyaya.
Sadhguru came. And so much trouble for me, because all kinds of people now will start saying, Sadhguru came and did this, Sadhguru came and did that. Usually it starts with good things. Then after some time, every nonsense that they do, Sadhguru. Right now it's happening to God. Fortunately, he is not here, so it's okay, you can blame him for any damn thing, but you can't access him, so I'm saying at least you cannot punish him, so it's okay. For everything, all the nonsense that happens, I think God wills like this. That's why I'm doing all this idiotic stuff. Now once this thing gets focused on a living person like me, phew, too much trouble. Well, can we make the presence be available wherever you are? Of course, otherwise what's the point? Then it'll be just talking spirituality. Talking spirituality can be inspiration at its best and entertainment at its worst. That's all it can be. Talking about it, talking about it, talking about it. Inspiration is needed in the beginning, but if you need inspiration throughout your life, you're a lost case. Inspiration is… it's like ignition. Got the engine started. Once you have the engine started, if you keep turning the ignition, it makes ugly noises. Same will happen to people. Once they're sufficiently inspired, there is no need to go on inspiring them, they will become fanatics. If you go on inspiring people, they will become madcaps who will do most illogical and terrible things in the world. Too much inspiration. Inspiration is like ignition to get somebody started, a little bit push. After that it's over. After that, they must have processes and methods with which they can access. More than anything, somehow, whichever way, involvement. So we are talking about a consecrated form like Dhyanalinga, or myself or yourself. When we initiated you, I have spoken about this, but largely we are avoiding talking about it. We are still calling Shambhavi as initiation. It's not really an initiation because nothing is given, it's a kind of a consecration. All you have to do, your daily practice, it is not like Shakti Chalana Kriya or Shunya meditation where there is a specific process. Here, all you're doing is, it's like sweeping the temple. People every day are sweeping Dhyanalinga temple. They're not recharging Dhyanalinga or doing something. There are no rituals, there are no processes, just sweeping the temple, keeping it clean. This is all you're doing with Shambhavi. You are not doing anything to boost yourself, just keeping it clean because it's consecrated. If you don't keep it clean, suppose if you do not keep your window panes clean, suddenly even the sun doesn't seem to be bright enough. Even the sun is not bright enough because your window panes are not clean. Or you got a cataract, suddenly even the sun is not bright enough. This can easily happen. So all you have to do is keep it clean. Sadhguru, I'm doing my practice once a month, once a day. I'm just being mean, just like that, it's a holiday. If you're doing your practice every day, to some extent it's clean. But maybe the rest of the day you're completely oblivious of it. So one simple thing you can do is use something, anything. Maybe a picture, maybe a mantra, maybe just a sound, maybe just a reminder on your phone, just anything that mentally, emotionally, you just get connected to that aspect as many times as possible in a day. That if you close your eyes, only that appears. Right now still all those cinema stars and others are appearing, so you're not feeling it. It's not that it's not there. You're not… See, when you do the practice, you feel it. During the day you're not feeling it because you let other things dance. Item numbers are happening. So you do anything, use anything you want, maybe a reminder on the phone, maybe a picture that you will look at it, or a phone screen, you put something as a screensaver, or a chant, you yourself chant or you listen to a chant, do something. All we are trying to do is mentally, emotionally, you're focused in one direction. If you do this much, the presence will be strong. Even now it's there, but like with cataract, how can you see? You're just trying to remove the cataract, that's all. It's very much possible to experience any dimension of life which is not limited by physical nature. You have no problem feeling it and experiencing it and knowing it. Distance is not an issue, there is no distance for non-physical dimension. Distance is a manifestation of physicality. If there's an inch, there is a mile, if there's a mile, there is 10,000 miles. That's how it is. From an inch to a light year, there is distance only because of physical objects. If there is no physicality, distance means nothing. So this is not a physical dimension. So, feeling it, knowing it, experiencing it will not be a challenge if there is a certain amount of focus towards that. You create your own device, how to remind yourself every few minutes or once an hour or whatever you like, it will happen.